And welcome back, everyone, to Between Bells here on Cheddar. You know our next guest as the eccentric quality assurance representative over at Dunder Mifflin Paper Company. But now he's actually finished his 9th full-length studio album. So joining us now is musician and actor Creed Bratton. Creed, great to have you here. Thanks so much for joining us. You just released your newest album called Slightly Altered on July the 17th. We want to play a little clip of this for our audience, just to take a quick listen of it.
Side by side, we'll be side by side, forwards after the ride.
So that was the ride off your new album, Slightly Altered.
Yep.
So Creed, how is the album different than the other ones that you've made?
Well, this album, I'm working with 3 different bands, Jack Shit, Echoes in the Canyon, and the Mojo Monkeys. These are 3 bands I highly respect, and I played with Jack Shit and Mojo Monkeys at different times. But slightly, the Echoes in the Canyon band, my producer Dave Way took me to the premiere of Echoes in the Canyon and introduced me to the band. He had produced that album, and I hit it off with the band and asked them if they'd come on board and jam with me on 3 songs. And that's what you heard. That's those guys right there. It turned out really hooky. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
We love it, Creed, and we know you're a very experienced musician. Taylor Swift, when she released her new album on Friday, she said she was the most creative during the entire coronavirus pandemic. Was that the same case for you when you were making music? Did you feel much more creative during this quarantine?
I had finished this album before the pandemic occurred, but now, of course, I've been at home, so I've written 7 songs for my 10th album already. So yeah, I'm not filming anything or touring, which I can't. So I'm at home writing. So I'm about ready to record the 10th album right now. This is about the time this one's coming out.
So Creed, obviously 9 albums, quite a lot. Do you feel like you learn something new every time you make a new album, or do you feel like I'm so experienced at this feels the exact same every single time?
No, absolutely not. I believe that every film, every TV show, every record is a new learning experience. I always learn something new. When I stop learning something new and I'm not excited or nervous about possibly failing, then what will be the point? But right now I'm still, I have trepidation and I get excited about the project. So this keeps me young.
One of the other things that gets a lot of people excited, The Office, and especially your character in particular. Everybody loves you on that show. Everybody loves that show too. Do you think the show is bigger now because we've been streaming it so often on Netflix, or do you feel like the show was still just as huge of a hit when we were watching it live on NBC?
Well, I've been hearing from people that seem to have the numbers and know, yes, it's part of the zeitgeist. That's just happened for, who knows, it's lightning in a bottle. How do you figure these things out? But people say, no, it is the most streamed show out there. And the kids that watched the show when we were on NBC, now their younger siblings are watching it. It's being streamed. It's a phenomenon. We really did hit the lottery with that one.
How do you think, Creed, The Office, and Dunder Mifflin in particular would handle working from home?
Well, I would do just fine, my character, because he didn't do any work anyway, you know.
That's
Actually,
true.
I work a lot at home by myself, but not the character. He's kind of like, I realized the other day looking at Dilbert, he's kind of like Wally, isn't he, from Dilbert? Very much so, that character.
The other thing that's really interesting is all the podcasts that have come from The Office, which is amazing. Angela and Jenna have a podcast called Office Ladies,
Yes.
which you apparently made the podcast theme song for those
Yes.
that don't know about that, which is pretty interesting. When did you guys know that you had a hit on your hands?
Some of the people say they knew it earlier. I myself am always, because I've been around since the grassroots days, I've had so many rugs pulled out from under my feet, as a lot of people have in the entertainment business. So when this happened, I just kept saying, well, how long will this last? And I think we were probably in the 3rd or 4th season, and people would come up to me, or people would scream at me from cars. And then you start kind of realizing, wow, it's affecting people. Maybe this is not just a flash in the pan. Turned out not to be.
Yes. Creed, one thing that's also interesting is in the final episode of the show, we remember Andy Bernard's famous line that he had said, I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them. Do you feel like that is a representative quote of your experience and your time on The Office?
Absolutely. I mean, my character, of course, didn't do any work, so he was always afraid that he was going to be discovered, outed, as it were, for shirking his duty. I miss those people. I miss working with them. I had so much fun. Oh, there it is. I'm singing my song, "All the Faces" in the finale. That's right. That song. When I do my show now, and I sing that "All the Faces" song, people just missed up. It's pretty
What's-
emotional. And Brian, when I did Brian's show, he was just like that. You
Yeah,
got him.
because it's a very sentimental song, Creed. It reminds us of really happy moments. The other thing I was going to ask you, Creed, is we all try to figure out what these characters are doing now. Like, what are they up to? Like, what are Jim and Pam doing? What's everybody else doing? What's Creed doing right now?
Creed was in jail, of course, and then he called that beautiful woman, a lawyer that dressed really nice, for making a murder. He had an affair. He talked her to get him out of jail. Then he dumped her, took her money, and he's off on some kind of scam now, I think, somewhere down South America, I believe.
Yes, exactly, as he should be. Amazing stuff. Thank you, of course, to actor and musician Creed Bratton. Great to have you here, Creed. Slightly Altered is available wherever digital downloads, of course, are sold or wherever you stream your music.